Hey everyone, today I'm recreating Bellahadid's matte bronzy can look. If you want to see how I got this 90s inspired makeup, please keep watching.
So this video is going to be a voiceover. I am starting with the MAC paint pot and I'm putting that all over my lids. And then I take the NARS eyeliner pencil in black and I run that on my waterline. And then I close my eyes and run it through my tight line and smudge the pencil into my lash line on my upper eyelid. I work quickly because this pencil does dry down pretty fast. And what I do after smudging it in is take an angled brush and just further smudge that eyeliner in. The messier the better, because we're going to go over this with eyeshadow. It does not have to be perfect. And I went ahead and did the same thing to my other eye. So again, with the brush and pencil to smudge that in. Then I like to take a concealer that's a little bit lighter than my skin tone. Here I'm using the Benefit Cakeless, and I went ahead and carved out my brow, and I went over my brow hairs just a little bit to give the illusion of a thinner brow, because Bella does have thinner brows than mine. I'm currently in the process of growing them out, so I wanted to just take them down a little bit. So I'm using a flat concealer brush to do this, and then I just pat it in with my fingers to diffuse any harsh lines. Then taking my Tarte Lip palette, which is such a great matte neutral everyday palette, I took a medium neutral brown and ran that through the crease on both eyes. And now you'll see why it doesn't matter if the eyeliner is messy or not, because I'm taking a black matte and I'm just going to run that over the eyeliner we smudged into the lash line earlier. Doing that on both eyes, and then I'm taking this medium chocolate brown shade and I'm going to put that over the black up to the mobile lid, so about up to the crease. Then taking my fluffy crease brush just to diffuse that out a little bit and blend up to my crease. The whole point of this eye look is not to be perfect, so you want that lived-in, grungy, messy eye look, which will complement the bronzy, glowy skin that we're going to do next. Before we get to complexion, just one last step on the eyeshadow look. I'm taking the bronzer I'm going to use on my face, and I'm going to just run that through the crease to add a little bit of warmth. This is something I love to do in almost every makeup look, whether it's bronzer or blush. It makes the look way more cohesive, and it just ties your complexion to your eyes a little bit better. Now getting started on complexion, I like to take this micellar water from Chanel. It works beautifully and it leaves your skin hydrated. You don't need to moisturize after using it unless you're super dry. And I'm using this just to get rid of any fallout that I may have gotten from the eyeshadow, which is pretty minimal. Then I'm taking my Laura Mercier Hydrating Primer and I'm going to apply that all over my face using a classic flat foundation brush. I truly feel that these types of brushes are so underrated. They work beautifully to really push products into the pores. I love this primer because it really feels like a gel moisturizer. It's super hydrating and refreshing, and it looks really great underneath matte products. Then I'm taking my Chantecaille Bronzing Gel. This product is so great for underpainting and for using on top of your complexion products to add a bronzy glow. And I may start to look a little crazy here, but trust the process. I do not self-tan anymore, so I need to bronze myself up really well, and I love to use this technique to do so before I apply my concealer and foundation. This overall will just give my complexion a really natural bronzy look once I apply the rest of my base products. Just trust the process here. I know I look crazy. Taking my Dior contour stick, again, I'm going to do a little underpainting for contour as well. I'm just going to hit my cheekbones and my nose. I love to contour my nose with my fingers. I just cannot do it any other way. It does not look good on me. And then I'm going to take this small fluffy brush from Real Techniques to diffuse that contour into the bronzer. I'm not blending it in 100%, I'm just diffusing it a little bit. I still want it to show once I apply my foundation. For foundation, I'm going in with the Besma foundation stick, and you guys, This is worth every hype it gets online. It is the most beautiful foundation stick I've ever tried, and dare I say I like it a little bit more than the Dior foundation stick. So I am applying that all over my face and then pushing it in with this dense foundation brush. I'm trying my best not to move that underpainted bronzer and contour I did. Once that's blended in, I'm taking my concealer. Today I'm using the NARS Soft Matte Concealer, and I'm going to be pretty liberal with this, applying it under my eye and then making sure to create a sharp wing where my eyeshadow ends. And then I'm also taking that concealer to sharpen my jawline, so I'm taking that underneath the contour I placed earlier. Blending it in, I'm going back in with my flat foundation brush. This is so great at not moving coverage where you placed it. So you can see I'm just patting it in place as opposed to buffing it out with like a fluffy foundation brush. I love to use a flat foundation brush when I want to keep the coverage where I placed it. So this is really ideal for this makeup look. It's also really great to keep that sharp line I drew at the corner of my lash line because it's such a flat, sharp brush. And then just going in and softly diffusing that concealer I placed underneath my contoured areas. And one more time going over with my fluffy foundation brush just to blur any harsh lines. And you guys, the key to a professional makeup application is to blend, blend, blend. The longer you take to blend in your products, the longer they're going to last on your skin and look more airbrushed. Taking the classic Laura Mercier loose setting powder, I'm going to take that on an angled powder brush and bake underneath my eyes. I don't typically like to bake, as I've mentioned in my other videos, so here I'm just going to keep pushing the bake into my skin until it disappears to get an even more airbrushed look under my eye. I'm not going to be piling on a bunch of powder and then brushing it away. And I'm following the placement of the concealer I did at the corner of my eye. So I'm taking that powder all the way up from the corner of my lash line up to my temples. This helps create a really sculpted and lifted look to the skin. And I'm also going to drag that powder underneath my cheekbone where I placed that concealer earlier, and just to define my cheekbone as well. And taking this beautiful Dior bronzer, and I'm going to place that on all the areas I did not bake. You can see here, even before I apply the bronzer, how my cheekbone is a little defined from all of the baking and highlighting I did. So just building onto that with this bronzer really just enhances the cheekbone and adds a little bit more depth to my face. And taking some of this powder bronzer on my finger to contour my nose again, just really slightly to help set and enhance the contour we did with the cream stick earlier. And just buffing a little more of that bronzer in around my face, around my chin, a little bit down my neck, just to give myself a more bronzy look. Taking Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz just to softly fill in any gaps in my brows. Again, Bella's brows are super thinned out compared to mine, so I'm doing my best here not to overfill them, which was a little difficult for me. And then brushing them out with Benefit's Brow Setter Brow Gel. This stuff is like super glue to your brows. They will not budge. It is such a great brow product if you're in the market for something with super strong hold and long wear. Then taking Stila's black eyeliner pen, and I'm just gonna go really close to my lash line and make a soft, small wing at the edge. And doing the same thing on the other eye. And you guys, eyeliner is sisters, not twins. I did my best here. Then I'm taking this incredible $5 mascara. You guys need to try this. Go to Ulta, pick this up. It's the Essence Lash Princess something. I'm not sure of the name, but this gives you the most incredible false lash look, and it builds so beautifully. It doesn't clump. I will link to all the products I use, so I'll definitely link to this mascara so you guys could check it out. But you could see here how it's building up on my lashes. It is such a freaking staple in my makeup kit. And I honestly can't believe I'm only discovering this now. Like, this is so good. To finish off the eye look, I'm going back into that chocolatey matte brown and running that underneath my lash line to smudge out a little bit of that eyeliner we placed into the waterline earlier. I like to work on the lower lash line once my complexion is done, because if I had done it earlier, some of the complexion products would have just wiped it away. And I placed an Ulta pickup order earlier just for this look, and I put together what I think is going to be the perfect glossy nude lip. Taking MAC Oak lip liner, and I'm going to softly overline my lips. I really love this color on me. It's not too browny and it's not too pink, and I'm going to keep using this. I really loved how it looked. I also picked up MAC Flesh Pot lipstick. This is such a 90s light beigey pink lipstick. It is so gorgeous with this lip liner. And on the MAC website, it's actually recommended to combine these two products together, and I must say they do work really well. Bella's lip and her look was glossy, so I picked up this Morphe lip gloss. I'm not sure of the name, but I will link it in my description box. It was a little bit more brown than I wanted it to be. I was hoping it would be a little bit more beige, but I made it work, especially because the lipstick was a little bit light, so it kind of toned it down. And that is it for the finished makeup look, guys. What do you think? Here I'm just touching up some of my flyaway hairs from my bangs just to smooth them out with this hairspray. And that is the final makeup look, you guys. What I love so much about the blending techniques I used in this video is that even in harsh sunlight like I'm showing you here, you still have an airbrushed makeup look that is great for any occasion. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!